Oh, that's better. I was live, but not live. I'm such an amateur. Frank, that sounds copyright. All right. Well, but gotta get it on in the. Nobody can hear you anyways. They don't know what you're saying. He's saying it's a free beat right now. It's so you can spit a track to it. You can spit a mad beat. I'm not hearing your music. If I talk, it drowns that right out.
I have no idea why.
I don't know how you supposed to fucking whoop,
No,
whoop.
there's 4 non-copyright written beats from Tully. It's the Joyner Lucas.
Isn't this what is it? Is it
Joyner Lucas uses.
What's the symbol again? What is it? What's it called? The
fucking Drake came up with it.
Whoop, whoop. I don't even know how to do it. I'm too old. I'm boomering it. I'm 34, hardcore boomer.
And then the number 3 kind of sucks. Personally, I think this one sucks.
Are we going to a bar mitzvah?
But I love this one, dude. I love this one. Like, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to play something.
It sounded better muted, Mordick is saying.
What's that?
One of our only loyal subscribers on Way Off Topic Radio, Craven Mordick. He says it sounded better. It sounded better. Is that the Hulk Hogan? That's what's it? The whoop whoop.
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I have no idea where it started. Really, I just remember like the fucking the meme is Drake doing it.
I wonder where there's a lag on that. I remember dealing with this before. You guys lagging in there. Let me just check a setting here. Okay, but why are we listening to music? Aren't we supposed to Way Off Topic Radio?
Because I can do whatever, it's Way Off Topic Radio.
Whatever, I do what I want, he said.
But yeah, it's from Tully. If you just go on to, any, or you're at your iTunes store, go on Tully. There's a bunch of beats on there. Yeah.
And there definitely shouldn't be a delay in here. I wonder why that is. That's so annoying.
Oh, the video the video delay, you mean?
Yeah, like the one time we did it, we didn't have it, and then this time it seems like we do. It's just so weird.
It's strange.
We should just use Meets next time. Fuck this Skype bullshit. Skype
I
sucks.
thought we were using Meet from now on. I mean, and we sound a lot better on Meet, I thought.
I don't know. That can go both ways, but... Shut up, phone. Fucking LG. Get out of here.
Wasn't the whole Meet thing, wasn't that the last show we did?
That fucking LG. Disclaimer, this is just opinion, but LG phones can go to the bottom of a lake where they belong. I'm back into Samsung, baby. And I've never been happier. It's like having a whole new girlfriend.
I can't wait to get the new iPhone. I want it so bad. But that's okay. I got my iPad 11-inch.
How do I do that with my head down, Gam?
What is Greg in the chat?
Is that who that is?
Yeah, it's GAM is at the end of it.
Frank, I want to fight with you. You should bring up some woo. I want to get into an argument with you. Can we please?
I would really have loved for you to hear the hypothesis that they came up with from the data. That's all I wanted you to hear. Really.
I don't know what we were talking about anymore. I don't even remember what the fucking we were talking about.
Well, if you'll let me just get through the fucking video for.
Oh, I don't want to go through that video. I still think that you're crazy.
I still want to know what you think after you hear the hypothesis, because you were shitting on the method right away, and it wasn't about the method; it was about the hypothesis. You know what they.
Well, what was the video even on again? Just tell me what the topic was. I can't even remember, Frank.
I don't want to even say it. So
you know, so I'm just gonna start digging at it. You can tell already. You can fucking tell. Just so you know, I found out that Frank.
He's 3. You can ask Greg.
I found out that Frank here is even though he watches Debunk Channel, he's kind of woo susceptible.
No, I'm not. I'm gullible.
Well, that's okay. Gullible. You know what? That's okay, because some people are more gullible than others in certain things. Because guess what? I am not gullible scientifically, but I am gullible socially.
Oh yeah, boy, you can get me to do anything.
Well, you can
tell me anything. I will.
Oh, like a joke, I will miss a joke. Like holy shit, it'll
goodness.
just fuck. The joke will just be like tapping me on the shoulder. I'll be like, what was that? Who the fuck is there? Well, I swear to God, somebody's fucking tapping me on the shoulder. It'll just swim around my head. Like, I mean, I'm sure that there was chicks that were trying to get me. I'm sure of it, that were just like putting neon signs up and like dancing. And I was like, I wish she was interested in me. Like, it's just, no, socially, I'm just handicapped. Go ahead.
Throughout the years. I definitely found out about a few of those throughout the years that I'm just like, why didn't you say anything, you fucking...
I hate those chicks, though. They can fucking go to hell. You know, if you said something, I'd have let you. You know what? All you are is a mental terrorist right now. You're a mental terrorist is what you are. That's what I say to those people. What?
We need to move off this. I'm going to start getting sad.
You're going to get sad? Oh, all the girls that told you could have gotten into their dirty, wet... Anyways.
Just the one.
Just the one. Mindy! He's like, fuck, you nailed the name, bro.
Mandy. I can't wait till you're of age so I don't go to jail. Fuck you.
Did you see my red pill philosophy image, by the way?
Yes, I did, and I couldn't stop laughing.
I tapped out.
And I've noticed that fucking moron cut his... He trimmed his mustache so it's so not profound that he's still part of the mustache club. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, oh my God, there's some rocks. I'm like, holy shit, there's some rocks. Fucking insane.
Dabbed away for any of the people that have not seen it.
Yeah, I think it was the last. Oh, there it is. Yep.
I love you, Kelly.
Dude, if I was a gay man, I would be in love with him. Doesn't he look lovable?
Craven, I had one girl say that, and she was probably telling the truth because she had a really shitty boyfriend at the time, and she was hot as F, and spending a lot of time with her because that's what I wanted to do. But I'm a really nice guy, and so unless she was literally going to reach down my pants, I just never did anything. And then later, it was like, if you tried something, I would have let you. It was like, wow, why don't you just fucking... You could have just taken that to the fucking grave with you, you hot piece of shit.
I couldn't have taken the rejection. That's why I never brought it up to her. And you know why what she said, why she never said anything? The same damn fucking thing.
I mean, it's not like... These aren't like... It's not like Great White Buffalo or something like that. Or it's not like this is like, like... I don't have any regrets. My life went in a great direction.
I met Missy pretty young.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any regrets. Life went in a good direction for me, but
the first in 2 days, it'll be exactly 19 years that we've been together.
Oh God, that's terrifying. I'm just kidding.
Exactly 19 years to the day. It's insane.
I'm already yawning. We haven't even been podcasting long. This is not good.
I have lived with Missy longer than I've been alive. If you chop my life in half, the bigger half is with her. It's crazy. It really is nuts.
Remember at the end of this podcast to tell people, actually I guess that's what I'm doing right now. So remember, when you're done listening to this, to go and subscribe to Way Off Topic. I can't even say the fucking channel. See, just go off and subscribe to somebody else's channel. Here, I'm going to give you one off topic right now. Yeah, that's not it. Find some random channel out there and just subscribe to it. Give them some love.
You know what Phoenix did?
Hold on, we're not done the pitch, goddammit. Way Off Topic Radio. Find us on YouTube. Thank you very much, because you're already on the fucking podcast if you're listening to this. So, anyways, go forward. What did he do?
So the thumbnail for the Twilight Zone podcast reads, what the hell did he say? It's so. I read it and I just started laughing, and I'm like, what other podcast tells you to not listen to them and then gives you other options?
That'd be the kind of thing I'd do.
But it's just because he got mad because somebody, like, I guess somebody DM'd him on Twitter maybe, and like cut him down for cussing so much or something. It's like,
oh God, get a life. I mean, I get it. I've been working on it. I swear too much. Sometimes I swear and I don't even notice I've sworn. So, like, it's a bit of an issue. I get it, and it does make you seem less intelligent, even if you are way more intelligent, because it just kind of brings you down at a lower level. Well, it can, anyways. It doesn't have to.
See,
it doesn't have to define you, Frank.
Well, see, because me, I don't give a fuck what people think of me, so I don't care.
My parents care.
But I mean, like when I do, ICP.
Well, you get out of here, kitty. Can't eat in this house.
I mean, I have to stay clean for the show to keep the clean rating, and I'm on topic for the most part because I have mystery next to me smack the head. But So Phoenix, he, since he's a comedian, public opinion of him is somewhat important.
I get it.
People want to come pay to laugh.
But what? So they were having a problem with his stand-up act kind of thing, or what?
Well, see, here's the thing. He does so many different podcasts and so much different content on his YouTube channel that he gets no love for, by the way. But I mean, the dude's a genius. He really is. The dude's the funniest motherfucker.
Oh, he's funny when we got him on.
Huh?
But he's recovering right now, right? So.
You know what? Let's do a Blow Phoenix show. That's what I want to do.
A Blow Phoenix? What do you mean? Phoenix. Is that really what Phoenix. You meant though? Because are you sure? Oh, Blow Phoenix show. I get it. Yeah, virtually. Yeah, I see. We're gonna blow
Phoenix
him.
Just had back surgery, and more power to him because I just had 4 shots in my back, and I feel like somebody ripped a hole in the bottom of my fucking ass. I can only imagine what that man is going through right now, and it's just and he's 3 weeks in, so and he's got another 6 months to go. So I think he deserves a big.
Claus! It's gonna be live. Me getting my face scratched off. Okay.
I don't think we'll have a big problem playing shit from his, channel, right? So I don't think he's gonna copyright us.
This cat's in heat, and we have to get it. Okay. Get the claws out of my throat. Thank you. Claws out of my throat.
So I never have female pets.
Well, ever. Ow! Okay, so we took in this lovely animal because it was starving to death on the streets. Gave it a home, and it became a lovely part of the family until it goes into heat, and then it becomes this little bitch, this terrible little thing that just sits here and makes noise and moves its butt in the air.
Yeah, I have this walking football that just circles my feet.
Hey, get out of here! You're making noise in my mic.
So at any rate, but no, I mean, I think Phoenix deserves a good blowjob. So I'm just going to share my screen with you.
Oh, I'm leaning back. That's it. I'm locking my chair in. Oh.
So here we go, buddy. This is for everybody else out there. So I don't know how this is going to look being streamed through, your thing there. I don't know what it looks like.
That's not the button I wanted to hit. Give me 1 second. I'll get it. Well, you gotta.
Yeah, I'm going to now. Sorry.
Oh, I see what I'm seeing. That's interesting. Comes through on my feed.
Oh, but the.
Well, hold on, I can get it in there. Just give me a second here. Just give me a cotton picking goddamn moment. Give me a cotton fucking picking moment. Fucking things hate Skype so much. They really
so
do.
How have you been otherwise, though, buddy?
Just tired, hate life, all that stuff.
You hate life? Why?
No, I'm just joking. It's, fuck.
Wait, Starship exploded again?
Which no. What are we talking about? No.
It didn't explode again.
Which one was Starship?
Oh no, it did.
What? Oh really? Did that just happen?
That's the second time.
That shit's not good.
Oh no, Starship 2 gone.
Hold on, I gotta put that in here. You're gonna show this again. Just let me. Here, I have to get Skype up. 1 second.
What do you?
I am doing a multifaceted approach here. Just give me a second.
Yeah, tell me when I can.
Paste. Okay, and then there we go. Why the fuck can't I see? It's so interesting. I don't know why it's not showing on here.
Kabloomy.
That's so weird. I don't know why that's not showing. Well, I'll have to work on that later. Okay, do it again. Show it again.
There. Yeah.
Were they doing a pressure test of it? It blew upwards. Fuck, that thing's huge, eh? That must have been so loud. Kaboom.
They were just filling it. That's all they were doing. They were filling it for a static fire. That's all they were doing. It was a static fire.
Well, they're fucked with that thing. That thing's never going to leave the planet for another few years.
There's no way people are going to step their fat asses on this thing and head their dumb asses all the way to Mars.
Oh, he'll get it done. They spent $1 billion making that other rocket, and it's working now.
Look at this thing, dude. I mean, really?
What about the other one?
What are you doing? I mean, I get the whole stainless steel thing. I get it. It makes sense.
No, he said it actually. There's actually like an honest to God reason for it to be stainless steel. There was thermal reasons.
Yeah. It's all about because this thing needs to land and then take off again without any maintenance whatsoever done to it. And
wow, they're not claiming it's not going to have any maintenance. He's just claiming minimal maintenance.
No, that's NASA's. That's what NASA has stipulated he has to accomplish.
Starship isn't paid for by NASA.
Oh, sure, dude. NASA's,
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, dude. Even the Heavy was not paid for by NASA.
No, Heavy wasn't. You're right.
But this is not paid for by NASA. I'm telling you, this is an independent project.
So development? No. But NASA does, offer stipulations about what you need to accomplish before, they'll allow human beings.
But they don't. But they don't require. They don't require. But even right now, they don't require the reuse of the pod to mean no maintenance. They have no stipulation that says you can't maintain something before launching on it. In fact, right now, if anything, you don't think you're allowed to launch on a rocket that's had maintenance, because whenever they launch crewed missions, which they've never done on a Falcon yet, but even the ones to the ISS, no, they're used recycled base boosters to the ISS now, actually.
Yeah, and
they use recycled upper pods too.
Yeah, and the last Dragon capsule, or whatever they're calling it now.
I'm telling you though, this is actually paid. This you're way out to lunch on who's paid for this. This is funded private. No, this is funded privately though, and it's completely by like a Japanese billionaire and stuff too, and SpaceX. And NASA has no part in this. The only thing is, yes, before they can put a human in it, they'll have to prove it can not kill them.
That's all I was saying is NASA set stipulations for some things.
Yeah, but for it to need no maintenance is not one of the stipulations. I mean, even their space shuttle needed fucking maintenance every time it came down.
See, because NASA gave a grant of money to SpaceX,
for the dude, you're arguing with a space nerd. For the Falcon 9 program, they were part of the space program, yes, because NASA was giving money to private entities to try to further commercial space. One of which was also Boeing in that, and they paid them like 4 times what they paid SpaceX to do it. But SpaceX is not even getting.
What do you like better, Boeing's capsule or the Dragon capsule?
Oh, Boeing can eat shit. Boeing's the worst company in the world as far as I'm concerned. Not only did they produce the Max, which proves that they only fucking care about money and they don't give a fuck about safety, but then they produced the Starliner, which during its maiden fucking test had not only one fucking computer bug that caused it to have to force its way back into the atmosphere, it started firing the wrong direction, Frank, on the way up. It started firing down towards the Earth. It thought it was the wrong time in the mission. And they fixed it on the fly, and they managed to get it into orbit, but the wrong orbit. It didn't have enough energy to get to the space station. Basically, if it was a manned mission, it'd be a bust. They just come back down. And so they managed to oh, look, we tested this other part. And then when NASA met with them more recently, now remember, they're in shit for their software for the Max 8. They're poorly made software that they thought, oh, we know, we'll just produce a software program where we, it'll make the plane feel like the old 737, so they don't have to retrain, and that'll be okay. So they made that piece of shit that literally flew the planes into the ground. And then it turns out, so they're at this NASA meeting where they've, here, I'll get the screen off your face. They're at this NASA meeting where they've discussed, trying to get you.
I'll do it. Oh yeah, that's right. We were going to blow Phoenix. That's right. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Coming back in, I guess I gotta pick the different.
Oh, I mean, I can go back to sharing the screen again.
Well, I just don't know what I'm. Hold on. It's just a bug in the fucking.
Yeah, we didn't get to blow Phoenix at all. But
they ended up telling NASA, they're like, oh, by the way, while we were having that problem, we were also having a completely different problem. And we managed that problem, don't worry. And it was they were like, well, hold on a minute. They're like, you had another software problem? They're like, oh, yeah, we fixed that one right before the mission. So, you should really be proud of us for how good we are at fixing problems. You're frozen, Frank. Oh, I'm reconnected there. Okay, well, apparently my internet hiccuped or something, but we're back. Anyways, so they were like, you should be really proud of us for fixing that issue before we even launched, though. And they were like, well, hold on. They're like, you've had 2 software bugs now and everything. Meanwhile, SpaceX has had no problems, and they paid Boeing way more money because Boeing was like, oh, our software will be rigorously tested. They've gotten lazy. They're just sitting on their haunches. And Starliner will probably be a beautiful craft. I have no doubt it'll be a wonderful craft when they're done working out all the bullshit. I mean, the thing is, you got to look at how much money SpaceX has been operating on. They've been operating on a fraction of what these other companies have been getting, and they've been kicking the shit out of them, thoroughly.
SpaceX literally has exactly 50% of of all the launches in the world.
No, it's more. I think it's more than that, isn't it?
I think it's more this year.
I think they're like 70% of all launch capacity almost, or something.
Yeah, but well, now what do you think about what do you think about
it's costing them, just so you know, it's only costing them like $40 million to send, and they're to charge somebody. They're charging people 80 to 100, and it's costing them $40 million, whereas their closest competitor is charging people like $400 million for the same launch.
Well, I guess their closest competitor would be SpaceX, really.
No, I'm talking about SpaceX Boeing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a United Launch Alliance, ULA. So I think
ULA,
their biggest. I think their biggest. Dude. I think their biggest. I think that's what Lockheed Martin and that. Their biggest weight competitor, I think, is the Falcon, or sorry, the Delta IV Heavy, which can launch similar payloads to the Falcon Heavy. Except the Falcon Heavy is way fucking cheaper. Way cheaper. Like it's honestly over $400 million to get a Delta IV Heavy launch, and it's $150 million to get a SpaceX Falcon Heavy launch.
That's why the only Delta IV Heavies you ever see taken off has what on it?
Well, military. It's always military. Yeah, it's always, but that's why. But the military's been using SpaceX increasingly because they know they have the Heavy. See, that's where they developed the Heavy for. What it was is they knew like they haven't even paid for the Heavy yet. They've never made enough money. Like they've only had like 3 paying customers or something, at like $150 million a piece, and it cost them something like $1.5 billion to produce.
Yeah, I mean they've lost every booster so far.
Didn't they land? No, they brought the Heavies back and landed them on the ground. It's
not the main one.
The main booster, but the core. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, tell me about it. That's great. It's great, but
that core one's fucking moving, boy. That's
a monster, man.
Well, that's why that core one is moving. She's moving that thing,
dude.
She's like, booking, yeah.
Like the first one, it went right through the freaking drone ship. Like
it lanced it. Like they almost sunk it. It like lanced the damn. Well, because its engine ran out of fuel. It was still coming in. She's coming in hot. Like all of a sudden, it was like, wow, coming in.
There's nothing stopping that thing but the barge. Get out of the way.
But did you see they're catching fairings now?
Yeah, with that big, like, of course Elon would make it look like a catcher's mitt. I love it.
No, I know. It's like a fishing boat. It's like fucking Forrest Gump put his net in the wrong place.
I know,
great. It's like walking, flying down, just. And you know what it does, eh? Like the
fairings are expensive.
$6 million a piece. They're like per side. It's $12 million for a fairing.
Dude, it's insane. And what is it? The Indian Ocean has the most space debris. That's it.
Oh yeah, it's because we've dumped it all out there. But so here's the thing, though. They let airfoils, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, those fairings actually drop a little airfoil, comes out, and they start gliding on an airfoil, and then they use the boats essentially as like they go in line with the boats in the wind or whatever, and they try to get the airfoil lined up, and they try to get underneath and catch it. And they've caught one now, or they've caught a couple of them. They've never caught both in the same launch yet, but the day is coming. Honestly, got little thrusters on it so it can turn.
Well, not for nothing, man, but when you have GPS, when you have 4 little satellites pointing at the one spot on Earth at all times.
Well, they'll find it, but it still costs refurb. So apparently it's easier if it never touches the salt water, right?
I think even though you're catching it out to sea, even though it doesn't go into the water, you're still going to get seawater on it.
No. If it catches it, it's no different than just getting the air, salty air. So they just wash it off. But like they probably just spray it with a chemical, interactive chemical or whatever. But
isn't Blue Origin going to do like one of those helicopter catches in midair?
They have with their new Glenn, I think.
Yeah.
The idea is that it'll let out. See, their idea is not to save the entire booster. It's actually to save just the engine. So, just the engine section. So the idea, I think their idea was was that it launches up, the booster ends up getting scrapped, but the engine section, because boosters are just big open empty tanks essentially. So they said that the engine section breaks away and then puts out an airfoil, and they catch it with a helicopter. Like they go by and like hook the engine section as it goes flying, as it flies along, and then they
20,000 feet they hook it.
Yeah, well, because it'll just be gliding along is the idea. So then they come whopping along and they hook it and they fly back to land and land on land. Would be the idea. Yeah. That way it never touches the ocean as well. Same thing.
Yeah, and especially that high up. But I mean, just think about what that must feel like in the helicopter as you're flying it. All of a sudden, you make connection with it. It just tugs you down. I mean, it just feels like, just seems like something a helicopter shouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, right? But those Korsky helicopters and stuff, they sure can lift some shit.
The Chinooks. The old Chinook. I mean, not for nothing, man, but I mean, like, I lived near a Air Force base, and nothing is cooler sounding than a good Chinook.
A Chinook.
Yeah, because it's like you hear this chugga 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 chugga, you know, and you're waiting for the guitar to come in and go beanie, neenie, you know what I mean? Some folks are born made with like, anyway. But my point being is, and then you look up and they always fly in formation of 3, and they follow the road that I live on all the way to Pomona Air Force Base. You know, F-16s. I see a lot of F-16s fly overhead. It's pretty cool.
Team Skeptic sent me a message. He was thinking of jumping in if he got a chance or whatever, but he is or is not around. He sent me a message 15 minutes ago. Said if we're seeing if we're still on, but I said we are, but don't feel obligated. So we'll see if he messages back.
That'd be cool, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, not that we can go forever. I'm fucking tired. I mean, that's not me trying to cow out already. We haven't been going that long yet.
Yeah, and the other great thing about having 4 needles filled with steroids.
Shrimping is tough. Craven in the comments. Sorry, go ahead. 4 needles in your back.
Yeah, the other great thing about having 4 needles filled with, you know, nothing but pure steroids, right, into your spinal canal, is I've been awake since that Thursday morning.
Frank, have you seen what I've been up to on my channel?
Yeah, of course, dude.
Did you watch the recent Team Skeptic?
Well, with Professor Dave? Or you mean the Team Skeptic where it's him doing the idiot? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember this. Why? I've been meaning to ask you why that. I mean, because I got the gut line too and everything. As far as I'm concerned, that's my hip line. So why are your pants pulled down slightly? You're fucking naked, you lunatic.
Yeah, I smudged down the legs, so you can't even tell I got pants on. See, and then hold on.
I gotta get a screenshot of that. There we go. Cha-ching. I gotta send that to Phoenix.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Or no, Greg, screenshot that and
see, I used the white one. I replaced this one with the white one because it landed better. But here,
female queen.
Nana, she's a Nana Snow. So like that was a picture of her. She rolled down. It's a transvestigation. She's comparing herself to Sophia Zelgana or Zelda, whatever the hell that.
She's a dude?
No. What a transvestigation is. It's these.
What's a transvestigation?
Shut up and I'll tell you. It's these people. It's these people that think that everybody around you is like a tranny. Like the trannies run society and like all the elites are trannies and stuff.
So basically.
So like they do these. So like she was showing how like male Sophia doesn't have hips. but female Queen Inanna, and it was her. Has like, if you want to see the fucking original image, it was.
No, I don't.
Well, like, here. Like,
I mean,
like that's the original.
I'd rather take Sophia, really.
Well, no shit. Not to mention, she doesn't even have hips. She has, like, look at these. That
Like,
she's leaned over. There's the boy hips. She's got it. Fuck that.
Like,
Eat a hamburger, bitch.
Yeah, like.
I'm not gonna say that on my channel. I'm gonna say it on this channel. I'm gonna say it on my other channel because I like that channel and I don't like it to get destroyed. But like, that is, she is ugly as shit for her to be criticizing somebody as hot as that chick.
Yeah, like, I can't stand.
So anyway, so there's what I did instead, where it rolls down. And I replace it though, like she just keeps talking about it, and it's just me instead of her.
Oh my god!
And I'm not done because that's the first one. There's gonna be more of them, and then
I gotta take a screenshot of this with my phone and send it to Phoenix. I don't know if Greg's done it yet or not. Greg, if you want to come on, man, you're more than welcome, buddy. You know, just let me know and I'll send you an invite. You know, text me. You got my number. We're bros, bro. Greg's our longest listener from ICP. He's been listening since week 4, so he's been listening since December 2014.
You take your screenshot yet?
Oh yeah. No.
Get your screenshot. Get your screenshot. Did you
get it? My new doctor, no? Right? I had to get a new doctor, and that's a big problem for me because I'm just, I don't know, for some reason people don't like me. I don't know why. I'm a likable guy.
There you go, Frank.
Okay, so my point being is, okay, there we go. Wait. Okay, and nice close up.
I haven't even figured out that I changed it.
Oh my goodness.
Here, I'll give you the other one back if you're still screenshotting here. It's funnier.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you doing it?
Oh, I was screenshotting with my phone.
You did the other one. You didn't even look.
Did it change?
Yeah. Yeah, see? You didn't even look, people. See how observant Frank is?
What changed about you? You look the same.
Frank, the picture you took was this.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Go check.
That's the first time I ever took that. Dude, I've never seen that before.
Frank, check your photo.
Oh, okay, Scott. Here, check out my photos.
I can't see that.
I'm sorry.
It's all just bright. Just show me what you're saying. Because I watched. Because when I had this up on the screen, I watched you hold your camera.
I did not see this. I have never seen that before in my life. What are you doing to your nipples?
This is what was on my screen when you held your what. This is what I was showing when you held the thing up and took a picture.
Negative, bruh.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I've never seen that. Bruh.
That's crazy. I don't know how.
I mean, I'll send you this. What is it? Let me see. There. Hold on.
Hey, I believe you. I believe what you're looking at, but I swear to God, I put that up on there and I was like, you can take the screenshot, and I even said, I was like, look, he hasn't noticed a change.
I don't want to keep looking at that. Can you change that? Wait.
No, I'm so sexy.
Yeah, see, that right there is all I've ever seen.
But that's what I put it to after you took the screenshot. I watched you do it. It's weird. That's all I'm saying. It's somehow your phone time traveled. Because like I had this up. I did have this up. And then Frank, while you were busy doing your phone thing, I changed the image. And you never laughed and responded. And as you took the screenshot, I said, he hasn't even noticed. And so it's weird that it never changed.
Is that why you said that? Because, dude, I'm telling you, it's been this. I've seen this the entire time.
Maybe you must have froze up just long enough to get the goods.
No, not long enough. I was staring at it long enough to be laughing.
I'm saying, maybe you froze up.
But where'd you get the guitar from?
Get the guitar from? I have a guitar? Your guitars.
The picture that you just sent me with you taping your nipples up.
That's not my fucking place.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking to myself, like, nice room.
It's my fucking dream pad. This is what I use when I pretend when I'm podcasting from a sweet location. Look at this, like.
No, yeah, because those speakers are only about $5,000.
That's what I mean. Like, fuck, I wish. Look, he's up in like some sort of like loft with like windows above him and shit. Like, oh my god.
A fully stocked fridge.
Oh, I know, it's gorgeous. Like, I wish I could show you here. I wish I could show you the original. His desk is like mahogany or something. I was like, fuck. There's like one Coke perfectly placed on it. It's not like covered in garbage. Like, it doesn't seem real.
I have a pretty nice middle room here, I think.
I've got a pretty sweet little corner too, but it's just not real if there's not something other than, like, if you don't have paperwork on your desk, I don't even believe you do work from that desk.
Me? No, fuck no. I make it a point to not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even my desk right here, though, is that I've got paperwork around my desk because, yeah, but I do like I do business work right here, so like I'm surrounded by paperwork, so like I can't. There's password books in front of me, like.
Well, truth
anytime you see something that clean, you know that they just don't fucking do it. That's like.
Yeah, like I have a shop that's probably 50 by 30 by maybe 25 foot ceiling. And I have a desk in there with a computer and all that. So if I have to do anything as far as paperwork goes, I can just go 10 minutes down the road. And there's nothing in it at all. So we're getting a bunch of amps, and we're getting my buddy's drum set, and we're going over there tomorrow, jam out all day, because I'm turning it into a music studio. Because I figure my boss has been paying for it for years now, so might as well make it into a music studio. And I have 4 new students that I'm teaching as beginners, because I only teach beginner guitar. Once they can play it, off you
go. I know what you mean.
Huh?
I say I know what you mean. Oh, I'm tired today. Oh my goodness.
Because I mean, like people who get guitar lessons for longer than say a year, why? I mean, unless you're going to school to learn music theory or something, what the fuck are you learning? How to play like the guy you're with? Like, that's not. I didn't get inspired to play this thing because of you.
Fair enough.
Just teach me the basics, motherfucker, and I'll figure out myself. Because like everything else, guitars are a very self-motivating thing. But dude, you should see the workshop I've created downstairs. It's awesome. Like, I got 4 guitars that are being built right now. So by Tuesday, I should have $2,000 worth of guitars ready to be sold. Can't wait.
Falcon 9.
The thing is, my OCD is so bad that I keep on hyper fucking focusing on nothing at all.
That's fair. I've got ADHD pretty severely bad, so I can never focus on anything.
It's terrible, man. Like, dude, like this Ibanez that I have, like the pickup holders and the bridge, it's all chrome, old original chrome. This Ibanez has to be maybe 30 years old at least. So, once I clean it up to, and I'm using everything that's there except for the pickups. I'm replacing the pickups, and I'm putting in new pots and all that stuff. But that's electronics. That doesn't, that only upgrades your guitar. But I'm talking about the core basics of the guitar. Is the more stock you can keep it, the more it's worth at the when it's old. So for 2 days straight, I have been buffing out this chrome, trying to get every little pit out. And I'll never be able to do it. I just need to put the fucking thing together and be done with it. But I really need somebody to come down there and smack me in the face. I really do.
Are we talking about guitars? I don't know anything. I don't know anything about guitars.
I think I was pretty generalized there.
Guitars look like pieces of wood that have like a bunch of wires on them to me. And like, I think that when people play them,
dude,
they make
like,
sounds. But some people can make nice sounds, and some people make shit sounds. Go ahead. Sorry.
what I'm saying is like the reason why I always have 5 and my acoustic, right, is because my Telecaster is tuned to C sharp, right? So it's I'm not going to go through what notes they are, but they're all sharp.
I don't actually know what they are.
I'm just saying each guitar is tuned totally different.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to music, I'm musically illiterate.
Like Linkin Park, all their songs are in C sharp.
Falling in my skin. Fuck, it's the only album that, like, I love every single song. Well, except for their Hybrid Theory remix one so much. But when I'm done listening to them, you're like, good, that was good. Now I can't hear fucking anything for the next week because the treble just ripped my eardrums apart. Because they are just like trebles right up there on fucking Lincoln. That's the only thing. Like, after a little while, you're like, holy shit, I just need some bass.
Well, I mean, did you hear their very last album before Chester died?
I've heard all of their albums. Yeah, they've always had different sounds on every album, but they always still generally stayed high on the treble, low on the bass.
Well, Chester's loud as fuck. I mean,
well, but they like their tin instruments more than their heavy bass beats. So like all I know is that out of all the albums I could listen to, they hurt my ears. That's all. And I love them. I love them. I will defend them with the fuck until the grave. I will be there with a sword fighting the last person making fun of them.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, Chester would do, but I mean, Chester never sounded so good singing. You know, like One More Light was amazing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I loved everything they did. So yeah, no, I have all their albums.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a big fan of the remix album. That's all. I'm just not a. It's just because I already owned that album, and then all they did is rub some stank on it. So I was like, eh.
Are you talking about that one album where I think like Jay-Z's even on it?
Yeah, like they completely. It was just like a lot of it was just like.
Like I don't think that was them though.
No, they did.
I think it was.
No, it was. Well, it was there. That's all I'm saying though. Is it wasn't a new album. It was the previous album. Remixed in techno. So that's all I'm saying is like I'm just not a fan of that album, which arguably isn't even another album anyways. So you could almost dismiss that one.
Yeah, that was bad. But I mean, but they had one really.
And yes, I know that you are talking about the right one because he had Jay-Z.
Yeah,
they just threw little chunks of him in there and like remixed. What the hell are you waiting for? You know, and they put a bunch of techno stank, rub some stank on it, and like, yeah, that's all they did. It wasn't anything special.
Well, I mean, did you hear Mike Shinoda's new album since Chester passed away?
He sounded just like him, Craven said. I bet I did. I know it. I knew it, Craven. Sorry, go ahead. Did I miss what?
I said, did you catch Mike Shinoda's new album after Chester passed away? Like,
I did not.
He made an album about...
Oh, they're all done now. They're done. About Earth what?
Who's this? What?
No, I'm just joking. I'm saying they're done. When their white knight has died, it's like Apple. They'll never be the same again.
Mike Shinoda was the music to the... And pretty much, well, not
doesn't totally matter. Right. The heart is gone.
I mean, nobody could sound like Chester, man. And
see, he finally comes around to agreeing.
But I mean, but what I'm saying is most of the production of the band was Mike.
No, and that's fine. But all that I'm saying is, anytime you ever take a band and break it apart, very rarely do you have one of the people have breakout success on their own.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying it was really good though. Like it was like
That's good though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like you could tell he didn't really want to sing all that much because everybody's going to compare him to Chester, and that's not fair to begin with. But he is kind of grown up, so the whole rapping thing is kind of done. So,
Crawling is probably my all-time favorite song. If I had to pick a song that I'd be stuck listening to, it'd be Crawling.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I could get stuck listening to Crawling. If you had to pick a song to be stuck with for the rest of eternity, I could probably get stuck with Crawling. It's got both. Isn't that like, can't you see that you're smothering me? Yeah, crawling in. Yeah, I'm sure that's the one because it's got the nice lows and the nice highs. Don't play a bunch of. You can't. I mean, you can, but they're gonna claim our stream and then run ads on it, even though we're not making money yet, even on it.
No. What I wanted to do is there was this one album that they made back in like the late thousands, and it was just terrible. It was really bad, like really, really bad.
Craven's fucking comment. Oh my god. Okay, so he says, when he died, my coworker said his daughter asked him why he killed himself. I told him he should have told her. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
That's fucked up. That's funny though.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
You see, now here I'm going to go. I don't think he killed himself. How do you hang yourself from a 2-foot knob?
What do you mean? You can hang yourself from a fucking. That's the easiest way to do it. You do the thing where they do you not know how the people kill themselves now, Frank? This is so demonetized. If it was a monetized thing, it would be demonetized. Do you not know how they do it now, Frank? Like, do you know how Robin Williams did it?
No.
He hung himself from a closet handle, which is only about 3 feet high. So
yeah, So okay, so then that's Robin Williams.
So you're a little ill-informed on the new fad on how you kill yourself. So just so you know. The way that the people do it is that the reason they can hang themselves from such a short little rope on the ground, they can even do it sitting basically almost, is because it's actually the most efficient way. The problem is that if you hang a rope up and you do something like that and you don't break your neck or you don't suffocate, or there's cases where people are getting just enough oxygen to live and seeping by their neck, and then somebody finds them 3-4 hours later and they take them to the hospital and they end up surviving, but they're a vegetable and now they can't even off themselves and they're getting fed through a straw. Hey Frank, are you ready for the airplane? Here comes the airplane, Frank, open up. Yeah. Nom, 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 nom. Frank, a big boy. So then you become like that because you didn't do a good enough job. So what people do is there's been this realization, I guess, in the community of people that do that. I don't know where you research this stuff, but this is what they've. But what they do is they just listen. The 2 billionaires that were killed in Canada, they tried to make it look like that's what they did. So because what you do is you wrap something around your neck and then you just basically tie it to the object and you lean forward, and you set yourself up so the weight's on. You're weighted forward.
I totally get that, but like at some point, because the way it works is normally. So the problem is that if you were holding your face in a pillow, then yes, your body would react and pull away. But when you're doing it that way, what's happening is you're choking. You're not suffocating yourself. You're cutting off blood supply to your brain. Have you ever blacked out from a blood supply cutoff, Frank? It happens very quickly. Like, you just suddenly go black. And so what they're doing, though, is they're weighting themselves in a way that when they go unconscious, it finishes the job. So that you go slack when you go unconscious, and the action of you going slack pushes you forward in a way that you continue to suffocate out. And it just keeps the pressure down on your jugular and puts you out. So that's how Robin Williams did it. That's how a lot of those people do it. They do it on a short length of rope, and they do it that way because it actually guarantees completion better. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's why when you say about how short things like, then that's how easy you can turn something simple into a conspiracy theory. Like, wow, how would you do it on such a short rope?
Don't want to believe it, to be honest with you.
Well, I get it, but you know what I mean. It's kind of a grisly topic, obviously, for YouTube. But and if we were monetized, I might not have went into such detail about it. But
personally, I mean, if you're affected from somebody else doing it, then you know how just ridiculous it is.
Well, and that's how Robin Williams, like, that's why his wife just found him. He said he was going to go have a nap, and he went in his room and did it from the closet, at the edge of the closet door. They had different bedrooms.
It's terrible.
Oh, why they had different bedrooms? He must have been a freak.
No, that was David Carradine.
They, apparently, you know what? I think that they probably had such different lives. Like, he'd probably come back from, like, all-night fucking binge. Probably just thought it was easier for them to have different bedrooms so he didn't disturb her.
Who knows, man?
Well, I'm talking about Robin Williams, not Chester.
No, I know. Like I know the people that live in New York, and they would see him walking down the street, and they all knew just to stay the fuck away from the guy. The guy's a fucking nut, like nutcase. He'd freak out if people came and perched him and shit.
Interesting.
What are you doing?
Taking something off my heel. And the podcast people need to know. They do know.
It's just different. That's all. Okay, so we're gonna blow.
I'm kidding. I don't care if they know. I'm digging. Like, I have the worst heels in the world, people.
Phoenix just sent back a text. ...
Like, literally, that was the text he sent you? ... Sounds like a really full and fleshed out text.
No, Phoenix doesn't text a lot.
How is he doing?
He's miserable.
Yeah, but like, is it happened?
His back's fine. It's just other things he's having problems with. That's all I got out of him. He's surprisingly, like, for how open he is, he's surprisingly very it's hard to get anything personal out of him. Like really, you know what I mean?
But for somebody like him, is it more of emotional now then? So it's not physical then, so it's got to be mental?
No. It's physical, but it's just not his back.
He has dick problems. I get it. It's okay. You know, a lot of men suffer from impotency issues.
I think he might have I think I might have gotten infected. To be honest with you.
Got coronavirus? Is that what you said?
Know. No, infection.
Oh, that would not be good.
Because he wasn't, like, it was like 2 weeks after he had the surgery, and he said he wasn't feeling good. He was throwing up and all, and I'm like, that ain't good. Like, I think you got.
Oh no, that'll get you an infection. Wouldn't be good. They'd have him. So he might be on real heavy biotics right now. To be honest with you.
I mean, because he's just.
So let's talk coronavirus. Let's do it. We're not monetized on this channel. Let's talk coronavirus, Frank. Do you have your what is it? What does he say on Finding Nemo? Do you have your exit buddy? Do you have your? Do you remember what I'm talking about? Crush. Do you have your exit buddy?
Do you have your apocalypse buddy?
Yeah, well, do you have your COVID-19 kit? Do you have your COVID kit? I got my kit. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's right here.
Well, what are you talking about? A kit for what? Their coronavirus kit now? Hey, Greg, I heard F1 is now, they're concerned about going to different Grand Prix now because this virus, a few Grand Prix might be canceled. Man. Is it that bad? Like, I don't know, because I don't watch the news or anything, so I have no idea. And I don't have the chat on either. So, Greg, I don't know what you're saying. And Scott's talking. I can't hear him at all. Can't hear you. And again, he has no pants on. I couldn't hear anything he said. What are you wiping down? Did you piss yourself? Your mic's off. The light's on. Can you hear me? I don't hear anything from you. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch the heck and stuff. What the fuck? I swear. No. Negatory.
Check. There we go. I don't know what happened. My mic failed. It failed on the mixer side for some fucked up reason. No, hold on. I'm just wiping my chair so like in case it. I don't know if Clorox takes like fucking. I don't know if like Lysol wipes take like color out of a chair. It fell out of the thing here. What happened? There was a lid on that bitch. Hey, give me 1 second. I was almost done.
Oh, you were Lysoling your chair?
Look, I was gonna show you my kit.
Oh, your coronavirus kit?
Are you ready, everybody? So here we got. We're gonna be eating a lot of soup when the apocalypse happens. Okay. we got cream of chicken. We got cream of potato. We got chicken noodle. Some nice wholesome chicken noodles for the apocalypse. There, put away. I got some canned peaches. Gotta get some vitamins in there and stuff. I gotta go get some multivitamins. Here. I'm kidding. I don't need multivitamins. They're not gonna be that problematic. But
chunky chicken soup is the only thing that will survive a nuclear holocaust.
Got your box of gloves here, just in case those door-to-door people come by and you gotta touch the handles afterwards.
Door-to-door people, they're not allowed to do that here. Well, in this state anyway.
People don't solicit to your door?
Fuck no.
That would be that'd be magical.
You're not allowed to just walk up to somebody's door.
Well, I mean, you might be allowed to. You might just not be smart to in America. That's a different thing.
No, it's a state thing. Yeah, it's a New Jersey thing. Yeah, there is no solicitation.
Okay, we're ready, guys. We got this. Coronavirus kit ready. Okay, hold on.
Those masks.
Hold on, we got Lysol. I got. Get back. Hold on.
They need to change the name, I think.
Hold on. Oh, this shit's fucking dirty. Achoo! Oh, fucking gross.
I will be honest though, when I was jerking it into the fucking cup the other day, right?
Craven left. Night, Craven, if you're still here.
And I fell, by the way. After I was done, I started leaning towards the chair, and it moved, and I fell forward, and did like the reverse worm, and the chair went against the wall, but I held the cup up the entire time.
You know how hard these fucking things? Okay, go online and try to order yourself a box of fucking masks now.
Go on Wish.com. They're there.
I bet they're $100 a box right now. You think they are? Go check.
They're free. $233 for shipping. It'll take 2 months, but hey.
I bet they're not right now.
I was just looking.
When?
They're different colors and everything.
When?
Black.
When were you looking?
It's even got the round black.
Yeah, but you realize that those factories are like shut down and people aren't going to work in China, right? Like that you wouldn't even get them shipped to you.
I still am.
Wait, but like, I want to see masks because you know what? Anytime I've seen them, they're like $100 now.
I mean, I can share a screen with you because.
Nah, I don't need a shared screen. I got this. Wait, do I have to log in to go like even view the site?
Yeah, and I already have an account.
Well, dude, it's like that one won't be available, but they've got like $50 for like 100 masks.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Awesome. Wish.com is the shit.
Yeah, but you won't get those shipped to you from China right now. They'll become as slow as molasses. But the ones that most of the ones that you're seeing there are useless anyways. They're not the ones that the ones you need are the ones that go around the nose properly and have a seal, because they actually properly adhere around the face and actually seal up. The ones that everybody uses, those blue ones that just go over the front, they don't seal. Anyways, these are just
on that. Are there still thousands of people in China dying from it every day?
Well, it's not that bad, but at the same time, you know, we're on the edge. Like right now, it's happening. Like I'm telling you right now, it's happening. America's already got its first outbreak within a community, and a bunch of people at an old folks' home came sick, including some of the workers in the facility. So they said that already is a concern, because it shows you that usually when people start showing up to the hospital sick, or when they start showing signs, there's usually other people that are way more mildly sick floating around there coughing on people. They said, so chances are if these people in this healthcare facility have suddenly, all these old people in this facility and some of the workers there have all suddenly tested positive for coronavirus in Washington State, they said the chances are really high that it's floating around in like the city and like in the town or wherever they are there, and that it's only a matter of time before all those cases start popping up. And they found one in San Francisco where she was also unconnected in any way to China or any Chinese people, and they were like, how did you get sick? And they said it's possible she came in contact with one of these people, but they said there's also a really good chance that she is the first person to get sick of a group of people that have a bunch of sickness that's spreading within them. So like we're right on the edge right now. Europe's outbreaking right now. South Korea's outbreaking. Like it's happening, dude. South America's just got its first cases. It's going to rip through South America, and the entire country of Iran is sick. What happened with Iran is they picked up their first fatalities. They reported 2 fatalities from COVID-19 on the same day they reported their first 22 cases, which means it takes a 14-day incubation period, which means those people have both been sick and then died from the disease. Well, you have to be sick for 14 days to incubate, and then you end up taking like a week or 2 to die. So those people were sick for the better part of a month. And you are able to transmit the disease before you're symptomatic with this one. That's what makes it so contagious. And unlike lots of diseases where you can't.
It makes sense because China is pretty much the only ally Iran has right now.
Well, it's not even like that. It's just that it's everywhere. Are you kidding? We're getting it coming from everywhere. And yeah, maybe that's what happened. But all what's happened is Iran is a poor, slightly less I don't want to say uneducated, because I mean they have people that build nuclear weapons and stuff in Iran. But you know what I mean. They're a poor, slightly less educated. They don't have the financial means, and they don't have the know-how to tackle some of these problems. And so what it's resulted in, and they've said it for a long time, is what they were afraid of is that it was going to get into one of these communities and it was going to spread like one of these countries where they don't have the ability to detect it as well, and it was going to like spread like wildfire. And then, like I said, as soon as I saw that report on Iran, I said to my wife, I said, that's a huge problem. I said, because that means that these people have been sick for like a month, and they didn't even know they had it in their country. And so then by the next day, the reports were coming out where they said they suspect Iran has it in every province of the entire country. And then that day, the world started picking up people with coronavirus getting off airplanes. Canada picked up 2 Iranians getting off airplanes in the world with coronavirus. So we picked up one, got off a plane in Montreal and went to Vancouver, where she tested positive in Vancouver, and the person that sat beside her on the plane to Vancouver is also now tested positive. And then the other one went into Toronto, and they've tested positive, and their husband has now tested positive, that they live with, obviously. So like, it is extremely communicable. Even when they know people have it, they send them home, and then their loved one gets sick with it while they're caring for them.
Yeah, I think the last time like a really serious epidemic circled the earth was
Spanish flu.
It's like the 20s or something. It was like
Spanish flu. It killed like tens of millions.
Or something. Spanish flu? No.
I think it was a Spanish flu, like a flu pandemic.
No, well, yeah, that's true. But there was a pneumonia thing that went around back during the Depression, and My grandfather's twin brother died of it.
Well, I mean, it would have to be viral. It might be like meningitis or something like that, if it was like passed around, right? Because pneumonia tends to be a result of a virus, not the actual virus, right? Like for instance, this COVID-19 is killing people with pneumonia because that's what it does. It goes in your lungs and does exactly what it needs to do to give you pneumonia. It starts forcing your lungs to retain liquids, and that causes you to get pneumonia.
Right. So
pneumonia is like where your lungs are retaining liquid and you can't get rid of it, so you can't get oxygen properly and stuff like that, right? So
walking pneumonia is the worst because you feel just fine, but you can't leave the house. It sucks.
Well, so with the last one, but you got to think with the Spanish flu, it killed tens of millions of people worldwide, right? Okay, so here's the thing: you got to think the flu. Now the typical flu is zero that we have every year is about 0.001% fatal. So like very few people who catch it actually die. Even though we talk about even though it kills tens of thousands of people every year, through complications because they're old and they get the flu and whatnot, whatever. But its typical transfer rate is very, very low. Like for instance, something I learned while doing this woo stuff, Frank. If you enter a room with 10 people and you have the flu and you cough in that room, the way the flu's contingency rate is like 30 or 40% or something like that. So if you go in that room and cough, 3 out of the 10 people in that room may get sick, maybe a fourth. And that's why when only half of society gets flu shots, it's actually enough for herd immunity, because only half of the people in society are typically going to get sick. So if the other half of the people are already immune from an immunization shot, then you have enough to sustain generally immune society, because some of the people aren't going to sick, and the other ones that do come in contact are just, some of them aren't going to get sick because they are immune. And so it brings it down to a level where there's a low enough amount of influenza rolling around in the world that you typically, even if you don't get it, like the shot, you tend to not get influenza, right? And let's face it, I don't get the shot, I never get influenza. That's not to say I can't, of course I can, but I typically don't, because I'm never usually coming in contact with it, because a lot of people around me have their shots, because it's all mothers and their children. Well, they all have their fucking flu shots, every one of them.
I've never gotten one.
Well, and they work though. They do work, but and the thing is, the year where they had the swine flu, they were insisting people get their flu shots because it wasn't going to protect you from the swine flu, but it was similar enough that they had a theory that it would train your body to help fight it. If it did get it, it would lessen its effects, because your body was ability, like, you got to think of you know what an immune shot is, right? Like a vaccine. I mean, you're essentially training your immune system. You're getting it ready for the fight. You're massaging its shoulders and go, come on, champ. Yeah, you're giving it a dead version of it, so it's something that can't multiply, that your immune system can beat up and pin to the wall and go, stab him in the side, see how he likes it. Like, get him, Frank, get him. Like,
we'll find out what takes this guy down.
Exactly, and then one of them hits him with an orange and goes, spread the word, vitamin C. Like, whatever. That's how it goes. That's in a nutshell. It's a very, very, very tiny look at it, but yeah.
It's exactly what the immune system is.
That's essentially what it is. It trains itself, it fights up, and then, it sends flat pamphlets out to everybody. This is the enemy, and then it has an orange on it. Like, a picture of an orange throwing at him or something. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. So when I hear that parents aren't giving their kids their vaccine shots when they're born, it's just like, what's the fucking matter with you?
But what was it? What's the one that we the one that we always rip on, the disease that starts with an M. Measles. Yeah, measles.
The mumps?
No, measles. Measles is the bad one, I think. Like mumps is measles and mumps might even be the same thing. Might just
be. I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, so measles. Anyways, the measles. The reason the measles, it is similar to chickenpox. So the people that say that, like, oh, chickenpox isn't a problem. Well, yeah, it wasn't for most of the people either. But there was the odd person that would get chickenpox and die, because they had a bit of an immune deficiency and it didn't do well with them. And they, just because you did well, it doesn't mean everybody does well. So now the kids get a chickenpox vaccination, they don't get chickenpox. Which you know what? Fuck that. Yeah, oh yeah, we lived through it. You know what though?
Yeah, when I grew up, when somebody had chickenpox, it was like party.
Yeah, but they also don't believe in doing that anymore. Besides, now they just give them a fucking vaccination. My kids have never got chickenpox. They're immune to the chickenpox. They'll never get the chickenpox. Ta-da. Done.
I got them. My sister had
Because
them.
well, you know, I got them, and I got them too. And that's why. And my wife got them, but she got shingles. Now, you know, she also got shingles more recently in the last 10 years.
Yeah, so everybody that has had the chickenpox has the shingles virus in them, right?
Well, shingles is chickenpox. So what shingles is? It's not even a different virus. It is literally the chickenpox virus coming back for round 2. Now, the reason that it tends to be scarring and painful, and it actually can be really bad. Like shingles can be deadly even. And the reason is because you already defeated that virus. So the fact that it's come back for round 2 means what, Frank? Your immune system has failed to stop something that it's already aware. This whole time. I mean, who knows at that point? But no, I mean, apparently my wife doesn't. We've been checked since then. But no, like she got shingles, and but the reason it can be bad, and and if you got it again, they would be really concerned, is because it can definitely be a sign that your immune system is not functioning properly, because now you've become sick with something that you were already sick from before. So like you're not supposed to get it twice. So the fact that it's because the virus is dormant and floating in your body, but the fact that it's reared its head again and come charging at you full force again is not good. And the reason it's more damaging than the first time is because your immune system is not keeping up. And now I may be a little wrong on that part, but I am aware that it's a breakdown on your immune system, and so I do think that your immune system has to refight it again, which is a bit weird.
Well, what's the worst sickness you ever had?
Not been a very sick person. I'm trying to think. I mean, fucking food poisoning to the point where I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah. Like, have you ever gotten salmonella?
I mean, how would I know?
Oh, you know.
I mean, I've been sick to the point where I was like, my wife and I was in the bathtub because like I was just vomiting so much. I just needed somewhere with water pouring over me so I could just be comfortable. And like, I was in the bathtub, like just vomiting like nothing at that point, because it was just like bile and just like, you know, you're like drinking water so you can vomit. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing left. Like you have to like drink, and then you're like 5 minutes later, you're like, blah, I'm sure glad I drank all that, blah, that water. And then, so like, it was one of those, so I'm in the tub just doing my thing. Our toilet is like around a little wall thing. It's in the same room, but it's like literally just around a little wall piece. And so she's around there, and I literally remember getting out of the tub and like drying myself off and like crawling on my hands and my knees over to my wife, who's leaned over the toilet, and I leaned up against the counters, and I was like, so like, because we had young kids and they're sleeping in the adjacent room, fast asleep, and I'm like, so at what point do we call an ambulance for us? Because I don't even think we can get ourselves to the hospital like this. And like, we're like, she's like, I know, I don't know. She's like crying. I was like,
so what happened?
Oh fuck! We eventually started just. It was like 13 hours of throwing up, and then we just started fucking feeling a little like, I don't, you know how it goes down. Hey, you're just like,
and that's the last time.
I just don't. Actually, it was fucking grapes. I think we got. Who knows what happened? I mean, the thing is, you never know. I washed them. I'm almost sure I washed them, but maybe I just gave them the quick rinse. But like, who knows what happens? You know, they're sitting near the meat department, and somebody goes, "Oh no, well, chicken." He walked over top of all the grapes. Like, you just never know what's happened to your food. So I don't really know. But it was either. I thought it was.
Stores every day, dude. Produce. Don't eat produce while you're shopping.
Well, of course you got to wash it. But I'm sure I did, but I must not have washed it well enough. But so it was probably. I did think it was pesticide poisoning for the longest time because of how quick. Like so the way it went down is she came home with some groceries, and like it was late grocery shop. The kids went to bed. I had like about an hour before the kids went to bed. She had 3 or 4 grapes of the red grapes. I'm sure she washed them, but maybe not. And then I grabbed like a handful of them, and I was washing them in the sink, but then I grabbed like more, and I ended up eating like 3 handfuls. Well, I started getting sick first. And like, because I ate so much of them, I think, so I started feeling sick first, and next thing you know, she was like, I don't feel so well or whatever. And by the time so we put the kids to bed not feeling great, and then it was within like, so it took like 2 hours from like eating the grapes to being like full on like straight vomiting. We didn't stop till like the next morning, like the morning time. And then I remember talking to a nurse more recently and being like, I think it was like pesticide poisoning. And she said, I don't think that like food poisoning can come on that quick. She said it can, absolutely.
Yeah.
He said it can, within an hour or two, it absolutely can turn around and just punch you right in the face by then.
But yeah, salmonella took 12 hours. Took 12 to 13 hours.
What, to get through your system, you mean, or just...
To start fucking you up.
Oh, yeah, no, see, she said the right bacteria, depending on what it was, she said the right bacteria can do it that quick, though. She said with like, because it was literally like within an hour, I was feeling a little weird. And by 2 hours, I was like straight up vomiting my face off. So like, that's quick.
For 2 days straight, I had 104 fever and I was hallucinating.
That's crazy.
All I remember is tripping balls for a good 2 days. It was insane.
Wasn't there a specific vaccine for swine flu? Well, I think they did produce a vaccination for it at some point. But I don't think it was like widely distributed. I think they were giving it to people that were in high risk.
Did you ever hear the story of how vaccinations became vaccinations? Like the first patient that they tested on a human being and to see if it would work or not. It was a guess. It was a total guess.
Of course it was.
By a guy.
It's always a guess, though.
Some rich guy. But he asked his gardener to use his son.
But you know what? This is what scientists do, and don't get me wrong, some of them are questionable individuals, but okay, so like in one of the things they discovered more recently was that stomach gut. Like if you have ulcers in your stomach, you've heard of this, haven't you? Pylori A or Pylori B or whatever.
That's a negative.
Okay, so if you go to your doctor and complain about this, that, or the other, and he suspects you have stomach ulcers, they send you for like, let's say they send you for like a they send you for a scoping, right? And they detect that you have some stomach ulcers, okay? So then they take a biopsy while they're in there because they go, oh, there's some stomach ulcers here. So they take the little biopsy and they send it away and they test you and they determine that you have this bug. But what I'm getting at is, okay, so 10 years ago even, like 10, maybe 11 years ago, but I'm telling you, like within the last decade, Frank, if you went into the doctor 10 years ago and had the same problem, got hair in my tongue. You went into the same doctor 10 years ago with the same problem, and they found ulcers in your stomach. They would give you this drug or that drug, and they would give you like certain things to try to heal the ulcers, and it wouldn't really heal it. You would continue to have ulcers in your stomach, and they didn't really know why. Eventually you might heal, but it might not heal fully, and all kinds of things like that. And anyways, it takes a long time, all that kind of crap, right? So then there was this doctor that said, I think a bacteria is causing this. I think there's a bacteria that people are getting in their gut that's causing this. And all the other doctors, and we're talking like post 2000s here, bro. So like recently even. And he was like, no, I think it's a bacteria. And all the other doctors were like, you're crazy. And so in the end, they knew the bacteria existed. What it was is he was saying, I think it causes ulcers. And they didn't think so. So he blended up, no joke, he blended up this cocktail of like Pylori B or Pylori C or whatever the bug is, and he drank it, Frank. Gave himself, like a big cocktail, like gave himself a supercharge of it, right? Filled his tummy with it. He took shots of his stomach ahead of time, showed that he had no ulcers. Glug, 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 glug. Month or two later, showed that his stomach was full of ulcers. And then he gave
himself ulcers to cure himself.
He was proving it to his colleagues. He said, I believe this bacteria because it's not everybody has it. It's a bug. It's a bug you pick, you eat, you put in you get it in like warm climates on vacation. So he said
one stubborn motherfucker right there.
So it lives in your stomach. It lives in your, everything's got a pH zone. It lives in your stomach acid. So he said, I think
the type of person that takes.
Oh yeah, for sure. So he basically he said, I think this causes this. They said, no, you're wrong. So what he did is he basically took pictures of his stomach, showed no ulcers, drank the bug, gave himself the bacteria, took a bunch of pictures showing he had ulcers, and then made himself a cocktail of drugs, like different, like an antibiotic cocktail that he drank over the course of a week or two or whatever, cured himself of the bug, and then took pictures of the ulcers as they went away.
It's so like somebody giving themselves HIV or whatever.
Yeah, but
I bet you I can fix this.
But they knew about this bug and they knew they could cure it. But what he was trying to prove is, does it cause ulcers? And nobody believed him. So then what he did is he did it, and then he proved it, and now here we are 10 years later. If you go to the doctor and they find ulcers in your stomach, when they do that biopsy, one of the things they're going to send that away and test for is this pylori. And if they detect the pylori, the doctor's going to call you back in, and he's going to say, we've got a drug cocktail you need to start drinking as of tomorrow or tonight or whatever. Start drinking it. And my doctor, you should hear what my doctor said to me. He's like, if it's ulcers, if you have ulcer in your stomach, then we're going to test for the pylori. He said, if it's not, he said, we have some drugs for that. He said, if it's the pylori, we have some drugs for that too. And then he goes, he's got like an East European accent, but he goes, he's young. He goes, you don't want it to be the pylori. And I'm like, or I think they have to operate on your stomach actually with the right ulcer. Either way, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, why? And he's like, the drug cocktail is terrible. He said, it's almost worse than having pylori. That's what he said to me. Because he said it's like a whole bunch of like liters of fluid that are pre-mixed for you, and it's like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and you have to it's disgusting. It makes you feel terrible. Apparently you have to drink every one of them every day, drink the whole thing. He said it's fucking terrible.
So imagine you spending $450 a week on 4 needles a week, like every other day basically, right? Yep. And this needle gives you the flu, the symptoms of the flu.
That sucks.
For a year straight.
Is that what you're dealing with right now?
Yeah. Me, no. My father.
Oh.
That's how you apparently cure hepatitis C.
Oh, hep C. Oh, yeah. Well, they have to fucking they essentially replace your blood too, don't they? They drain your blood out? They do a replacement?
Basically, he just kept injecting himself with this shit, and he would get violently ill for 2 days, then feel a little better and inject himself again and again until he becomes not suicidal or whatever, homicidal. Huh. Yeah, so he had to take brain meds so he didn't kill me, basically, even though he did try eventually, and I had to put him down hard like 6 times. I wound up breaking like 4 of his ribs, 3 fingers, his nose.
See, hep C, one of the ways they used to do it is they would do something where they would give you, see, now they must be doing it a little differently, but hep C, remember, when we were kids.
It was back like 2007.
Oh, see, they do it a little, that was okay. So when that was happening was a time of very, very rapid experimentation in that zone. Because they were learning right in that zone was when they were learning how to actually defeat hep C for the first time, but they didn't have it fully fleshed out. So I think there's a few different ways to do it. But basically what they were doing with his system, I think, I'm not a doctor, is that they were flooding him with antiviral, like non-fucking stop is the idea. And then the virus,
head. It's like,
probably all the pain and everything and just having to deal with it is probably just being that sick all the time is probably terrifying to your brain. But yeah, like what they probably did is they probably flooded him with antivirals, which, see, the new antivirals, they can't kill the virus, right? You know that your body has to fight it and defeat it, right? They can't destroy it. But what they can do is they've learned how to confuse the virus in some cases. So some of the antiviral drugs kind of confuse it and make it so, like, for instance, one of the ones that they're using for HIV right now, because if you've heard that if you've got enough money, HIV can basically be held in the HIV stage and not go into full-blown AIDS.
Still alive?
Well, yeah, exactly. And they can literally lock it into the HIV stage.
Years, hasn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like with the right amount of money and drugs, they can actually lock it into the HIV stage now and kind of like keep it there so it never turns into full-blown AIDS. And so what a lot of the drugs they use do is they confuse the virus into reproducing with the wrong cells. So they
more serious.
But it's still interesting. They tell the virus to reproduce with cells that it thinks are similar to itself. And so it sees them as itself and it goes to reproduce or cells that are similar to what it wants to reproduce with, because viruses don't reproduce. It's hard to explain. You
said cells and self way too many times there.
Okay, well,
lost me, bro.
So, I mean, you got to pay attention. All I'm trying to say is that they've got I don't even know where I was. Doesn't matter. I was taking you on a journey of understanding biophysics.
It was very educational.
Oh, that's what it was. Because the viruses are dead and living tissue. So they can't reproduce with themselves. They need to reproduce with your parts. But what they do is they confuse it into thinking that it's mating with your cells at that point. And mating's the wrong word, but like infecting your own cells. You know what I mean? But
ever seen these viruses go into a cell? Kind of looks like mating to me.
Well, yeah, and so they just make it so it targets the wrong cells, and what happens is it tries to reproduce with the wrong cells. And so in doing so, it wastes its opportunity to reproduce with the right cell. So they kind of confuse it and inhibit it like that. And then with Hep C, when we were kids, that was incurable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, Hep C was we got vaccinated for Hep C, mind you. So I guess I'm vaccinated for it.
Well, see, like even though my dad was doing this, it wasn't curing him of it. It was just making sure he didn't die of it.
Yeah, but wait, you said he's cured now.
No, he's dead.
Oh shit, sorry. So wait, he died of Hep C then?
No, he killed himself 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I think you told me that.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't from the Hep C though. So he never got cured of Hep C?
No. Like if he didn't kill himself, the Hep C wouldn't have killed him by now. But yeah.
I mean, because now what they do now is they give you a bunch of antivirals. They flood your. I thought what they do now is they flood your system with antiviral drugs, so the virus has a hard time reproducing. And then they literally start changing your blood. Like they literally almost drain you on one side and pour blood in on the other. Apparently, is what I was like. Literally, like tap you out. And then when they refill you with new blood that doesn't have Hep C, so what that does is it drains you of the virus, literally blows it out your blood on the one side, and then they fill you with new blood. And what that does is that that basically replaces your blood with fresh non-Hep C blood, right? That has a really low amount of the virus in the blood because there's very little of yours left in there. And then they use that opportunity to flood you with antiviral again. And I think if they have to do it again, they do it again now. And so they actually literally like they flush you like a fucking oil change, Frank, essentially. no joke. They it's very crude way of saying it, but they fucking oil change you essentially.
It's kind of funny you just said that because I have a side job tomorrow of doing a full tune-up to some lady's caddy that she just bought.
Interesting.
Because that was one of the perks of my dad dying. He was like a weekend warrior mechanic. So I acquired all these mechanic tools.
I guess we are getting kind of late now, anyways. At an hour and a half, could start closing her down at some point here.
Yeah, I just wanted to give Phoenix his due real quick, and everybody go to Loitering in Wonderland, check that channel out. It'll be in the show notes maybe, or we can like I don't know. Just, or liwstudios.com is the easiest way, and you can get everything that Phoenix does. And I do the Twilight review with him, and he's normally on here with us, but he's not feeling good, so. But so show him some love. But I'm gonna play a few quick things from his channel, so you get a taste of what you're in for.
Sure.
Because, good God, Phoenix is out of his fucking mind. So, and it's just for some reason people don't find his stuff easily, and it's a shame because he's got a lot of content, like a lot of content, and he's just, I don't know. But yeah.
Sorry, whenever you say "but-ump," I always think of "but-ump."
So what you got going on there, Scott?
Just half sexy Brainy Beaver and Anna pictures.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I gotta sleep more. That's probably what I gotta do.
Yeah. You know what? I agree.
You go to your history and I'll see if you haven't been watching me.
Oh, you see this right here? Check this out.
What would we look at?
It's right there. I just saw it. It said $137, and I just bought it today because somebody made a YouTube video about these. They're called Fireflies. It's a brand of guitar that Amazon sells, and they sell out every time there's a new batch that comes on because they're like $130, and apparently they're really fucking good. And I got a hollow body Telecaster playing, and I just saw it. Damn it!
It was down there. Go down. There wasn't it? $100 guitar.
No, it's a different one. But he's really good. Like my shirt that says I like guitars on it is from his channel. He's really good. Like, he's a really good guitarist.
Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I hope you're having an awesome day today. For this week's video, we've got ourselves.
Do you think I'd be actionable to use the Beaver inside the MGM
Let's open it up, take a look inside, and see what $100 gets. So.
I thought we were watching Phoenix.
Okay.
Okay, wait, I thought we were watching Phoenix.
This isn't
positives.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I'm sorry.
You keep getting distracted. You should be the ADHD person, not me.
Dude, I haven't had my meds in a week, bro. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So so I go to see this new doctor because my doctor is on med leave, which really sucks. So I have to go see this new doctor. And it's basically just so she can refill all of the pills that I'm on now. So I'm not, so I can live, a normal life,
yeah.
As pain-free as possible. Anyway, and it took a while to get to where I'm at, but now she wants to be like my doctor, and I'm like, bitch, you're not my fucking doctor. I have a doctor. This is what he prescribes me, and I'm fine. So can you please just refill these fuckers? It's like, I was very direct with her.
Man, I was dealing with a guy recently for he had illicit products. Anyways, I just thought he had some weed, man. Anyways, he got super arrested for all kinds of stuff, and I was like, saying, my wife's like, so I guess that'll teach you to vet your friends a little. Like, no, he wasn't friends, but you know what I mean. She's like, I guess that'll teach you to vet your acquaintances better, won't it? I'm like, well, fucking like reading the news reports, like MDMA, like cocaine, like 2.5 million cigarettes. I'm like, fuck, he's gonna be in jail for like a decade.
Fucking cane. Yeah, that's pretty much why my father.
Yeah, but in America, cocaine and weed, cocaine's not as bad as weed. You might as well have cocaine.
What happened is my stepmother was an alcoholic to the point where she would shit the bed every night.
Lovely.
So imagine you're used to be Playboy Bunny of the year in 1982, right? and she comes stumbling in, 5 bottles deep of wine.
Hey, you're still not on fucking loitering stuff.
I'm just saying, snuggles up and then takes a deuce right on your leg.
Okay, let's watch something here.
That's what did my father in you. I'm not even joking. That was the moment that changed his life forever.
Things that will burn in hell, number 100, blogs and vlogs.
From Loitering in Wonderland Studios. Things that burn in hell. With Phoenix West.
Hello, citizens. I'm Phoenix West. Welcome to the last episode of the original 100 Things That Will Burn in Hell book. I can't fucking believe it. This project's been going on for a very long time. It's finally culminating here with episode 100. It's going to be done. The first 100 is done. And then the next book's going to come out. And it might be a big gap between the first 100 and the second 100. I don't know yet. I kind of want some time off from this show because it's been consuming my life for, I don't know, a year and a half. I'll look at the exact date here after we get back from the book. But let's just go ahead and get to the book there. We'll come back. I'll have a new t-shirt on. Things that will burn in hell, number 100, blogs and vlogs. Does anyone give a shit what some stupid asshole on the internet thinks? I wish, but nobody does. After 100 things that will burn in hell, nobody gives a shit what I have to say. I can deal with that fact. I do these for fun. But there are actually people out there that believe that other people should read their blogs and have a life-changing epiphany afterward. As if some kid from the outskirts of Chicago who dyes his hair black and has gauge earrings has anything to say of value. Oh, it's so hard being from an upper middle class family that will pay for your college, which you want to attend. Life is so hard being above average financially. Let me give you a hint, lonely teenager. You're 15. You don't know shit yet about life or anything for that matter. Everyone really wants to know who you gave a blowjob to at the football game last Friday. That's so fucking important to the world. It really updates the American status in the eyes of the world. I'm sure Iran will stop producing nukes if they find out you gave Tommy Thomason a Hummer in the backseat of his Corsica. What's that? You're angry with the world because Tommy cheated on you? Wow, who would have thought teenage boys aren't always the best decision makers and don't always think about the feelings of others first. So you posted a blog that says, life is shit, I should end it. Well, do it then, pussy. Quit flirting with the idea and do it already. Oh, you weren't serious about it and just wanted attention? Wow, how surprised am I? You know who gives the best attention? Angels. P.S. No, I don't feel bad for telling people to kill themselves if they threaten it. If they do it because of this, then it was just a matter of time anyway. Survival of the fittest, bitches. Good riddance. May their blood flow like their emo tears. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in hell. I'm Phoenix West. P.P.S. Please don't really kill yourself. I don't really mean it. It's a joke. Please don't do it. Please don't do it because of me. That'd be awful. Keep me out of your suicide note if you do that. Find out. Okay. Oh, that feels gross. It feels waxy. Why does it feel waxy? Ooh. Ooh. Barf. It feels waxy. Okay. Ooh. I don't know if I'm in frame because my monitor died, but we're doing episode 100, the most important episode without the monitor, and it's just a shit show, I think. So welcome back from the book part. Oh, shut the fuck up, phone, for sure. You shut the fuck up, sir.
Nope. He's like been trying to record it for a while or something.
So welcome back from the book part. Fuck it, leaving that in. This is a great way to end your fucking first run. Great. I'm Phoenix West. This isn't the intro. What am I doing? Oh, God, this is a shit show. Oh, Jesus Christ. So let's talk about blogs. And the original title of this episode was just 100 blogs. And then I added vlogs on here because obviously I had to, because it makes more sense that way. I can make fun of myself more. Because really I am saying I should burn in hell and nobody should fucking listen to me, because the opinions expressed here in this show are stupid. They're dog shit, and you shouldn't take them seriously. Because why would you? Why would you at all? I'm just some asshole on the internet. And I guess I'll take this episode because the book parts really said everything I have to say about blogs and vlogs. They're fucking stupid. They're written by guys who have no idea what they're talking about, women who have no idea what they're talking about, children who have no idea what they're talking about. There are children on YouTube doing video blogs opening toys and making putty and making goo and making fucking bullshit, making bullshit videos. Why is your toddler on YouTube? Keep your fucking children off there. It's weird. It's weird. There's pedophiles out there just like, yeah, play with that goo that could play with my goo. People are doing that. I'm trying not to go into too much detail there because I gross myself out. But there are men out there that are doing this because you're putting your children in videos where they're like in the yard in the sprinkler. And you're like, what do you think's going to happen? Nothing good could come of that. Nothing good. Make a private YouTube channel where you only show the link to certain people. If you want your family to see how you're doing, make your own website and show it there. Send it to them with their phone. You can do that now. You don't have to put it on YouTube for everybody to see, because why would I want to see that shit? Fuck you. Stay off. So that's all I want to say for blogs and vlogs, I guess. I agree. I also should stay off, but I'm really fucking stupid, and I'm going to keep going because I have nothing else to do with my life. It's a waste. So I guess I'll talk about kind of a little bit of history. The shirt I'm wearing, the first book I wrote was called Full Circle. This is the symbol for it. First chapter of it is Scenes from a Wasted Life. I originally was going to have it into I wrote it like an album, and I was going to make it into music. Turns out I don't know how to play an instrument at all, and I can't sing. So I ended up making it the first chapter of a book of poetry. The backside is that. But I wrote it when I started film school, and I started writing these poems. Got really into Pink Floyd and started writing some poems. But then when I got to Michigan, I kept writing it, and I got a job at Meyer in Lowell, Michigan, where I worked at a photo printing lab, and I would print off photos and just actual film from like the cameras that existed back then. It was still a thing, and I found myself incredibly fucking bored because the job is so goddamn easy. But they had this thing where you could make your own T-shirts, so I made my own T-shirt with my symbol on it, printed off these postcards with all the lyrics on it. Lyrics meaning poems at this point because there was no music. And then I was basically lying to myself thinking it would be a band. I wrote in the book here, I imagine it as like Pink Floyd with the middle finger. Pink Floyd mixed with punk rock with my extended middle finger or something like that. But that didn't work out. My heart wasn't in it. But I kept writing the books. And then my next book after this one, this is 2007. Next book, which I was writing at the same time, kind of overlapped, which was 100 Things That'll Burn Hell, which is why I'm wearing this shirt, because it was the very next book. So I started writing Things That'll Burn Hell. After I left Michigan, I went down to, did I go to film school after that? My life is a fucking blur. No, this is after film school, obviously. After film school, went to work at the photo lab. Went from the photo lab down south to work at, after Katrina. So I was living like in...
Okay, so there's like 10 more minutes of that. I didn't realize the last one was so damn long. But yeah, like the other ones are a lot shorter. They're about that long, a little bit shorter. The previous 99. But basically, they're things that he wrote, I don't know, 15 years ago. And then it's him to now, like, either still, most of the shit he doesn't agree with anymore. And then, but then it turned into another rant on whatever. Just go, check out Phoenix's shit. That's what I'm saying. And he did this.
Check out Phoenix. Right?
Yeah, but there's this one that I know real quick that he did because I was annoying him one day. Right? And so he's like, he's, I've never had somebody basically hang up on me through text. So he was like, I'm going to stop texting you for like an hour. Right? It's like, that's strange, but okay. And yeah, and then all of a sudden I get this notification that he released something. And yeah. I guess people can assume he just made the name Frank up, but he didn't need a whole lot of what's the word? I don't know. I can't talk at the moment. I cannot read and talk or listen to shit for that matter.
No, I'm just being quiet because you're starting to lose me to the sleep world, man.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just looking for April 2 years ago. I think it was. Pretty sure it was. Fuck it. Just go through it. Oh, here it is. Found it. There we go.
He needs to adjust his intro, though. It's terrible.
Now I played this 12.
What's that?
He needs to change that fucking intro, though. It's terrible. It shreds your ears on the way into his video. It's the worst way to enter a video. I'm just telling you, a personal opinion.
Does he still do it?
He did it on the most recent one you clicked. It was fucking the same thing. He shredded my eardrums on the way into his video. I'm telling you right now, he's doing that terribly. Dude, he did it on the last video. How do you not notice that?
I think because I've heard so many times.
It's really loud and really aggressive in your ears. It's abrasive. It should be adjusted. Like that's the worst thing I've ever seen in a while. It would chase me away immediately.
The intro is not the first intro I ever heard from what he did.
Well, but it's the one. But it still doesn't change the fact that you've shown me.
I do agree. Yeah, I do agree.
You've shown me two things of him, and both times I cringed when it entered his video. That's all I'm telling you. Is I'll tell him when I see him.
Fair enough. I do. I mean, he he doesn't shy away from criticism.
No, yeah, and I'll tell him. I'll say because it hurt my ears entering the video. Anyways, go ahead, play.
Kitchen, as you've seen in the previous segments. I use black grout, and I have finished the tile work now. I moved the appliances back in after I applied the sealer. It is now dried, and we're looking pretty good here. I gotta be honest, I didn't calculate how much tile I needed that well, so I used the last tile, the very last tile on this. So we're good though. It worked out really well. I couldn't have gotten any luckier, to be honest. The customer's resources have been tapped out too, so it really did work out well because I couldn't buy more tile if I wanted to. I just want to let you guys see this, and I'll show you some close-ups right here, but hold on. Okay. Call here. You guys, wait a sec. Oops. Pause. Oh, hey, I mean, what's up?
Wrong house.
No, I'm doing the show right now, but it's fine. It's not like we're live or anything. Why can't you talk right now? I don't want to wait. Why can't we do this right now? Yeah, there's lots of people around here. There's a whole crew here. What's the big deal? Why are you crying? Someone there? Just tell me now. I don't feel like waiting. I'm busy right now. I'm gonna be here all day. Yeah, we still gotta do pickup shots, and we gotta do insert shots, and we gotta do a bunch of stuff. I haven't done anything. I haven't done the testimonials yet, the direct to camera stuff. I haven't done any of it. None of it's done. I just finished grouting this. Just fucking tell me right now. Just tell me right now what's going on. Oh, what? Oh, man. Oh. With Frank? Oh, what? Fucking Frank? Frank! Well, my best fucking friend. That's what... You're leaving me for my best fucking... Why him? Why did it have to be... No, I think we can work this out. We can work this out. I mean, people get through this shit, you know? They just... It's cool. It's cool, guys. It's cool. Take 5, I guess. Frank is there. Frank is there, isn't he? Fuck you, Frank. Fucking asshole. Asshole. God damn you, Frank! No.
Yeah, but wait, what the fuck is he doing? Did he have to do his kitchen tiles?
Frank! Frank's so great, Linda? Huh? Let's go fucking Frank.
Wait, did he have to do a tile job then? What's he doing?
I'm stronger than Frank. Frank is this floor. I said give me 5. So you give me 5 goddamn minutes alone. Am I being level-headed right now? Looks like it.
Yeah, okay, so did he need to fix his floor? Like, what was he doing? Frank.
Just give it 1 second.
Take whatever you want, Frank. You can let me have mine.
Frank, we still got like 3.5 minutes to go here, but.
Oh, fuck you, Frank. Fuck you, Linda. I beat you, Frank.
Okay, Frank, I think we're good.
Yeah. Also, he's just doing the top.
Fuck you, Linda. Fuck you, Frank. Hey, guys. Why are you laughing? What? No. No, that's not. It's April Fool's prank. Yeah. No, I knew that. That's a good one. They do not. No. You got me. I'll call you back, though. I'll call you right back.
I think he's gonna try to piece it together. Good enough.
I knew it wasn't real.
His entire kitchen floor is trash.
Okay, kill it, buddy.
He just gets an idea to
I
film.
don't have any more money to finish this job.
Yeah, I just got that bird.
All the tiles used.
I'm pretty sure he's got through.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Okay, kill it, man.
Oh, God. Hey.
He basically sets the kitchen on fire. And
No, I got you. I'm starting to fall asleep at the helm here, man. We gotta click out.
Excuse me. So yeah, we also have a great day, everybody. So Phoenix, hope you feel better, buddy. And go check out his channel. There's a lot more weird, just
Stop
funny
sharing
ass
your
content.
screen and we can get your pretty face.
There we go.
Did Probably, but I gotta fix it now.
Did I do it right, Mommy? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm not sharing anymore.
There we go. Anyways, yeah, I'm losing it, man. We gotta get off here. It's been 2 hours. It's like 1 in the fucking morning for me. It's 2 in the morning for you. I'm exhausted. So.
And go Flyers. They've been doing great lately.
Sweet Flyers, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to do any pitches? I don't have any pitches. Brainy Beaver, come see me on Brainy Beaver YouTube. And other than that, good night.
Yeah. Good night, bitches. Talk to you next week.
Talk to you later, Phoenix. Heck, come on next show, buddy.
Yep. Hope you feel better, buddy.
Okay.
Peace.
And bye-bye.
Yeah.